Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Whispers. I have a young lady here with me who is a nursepreneur. That's a new word for us. And I'm whispering because I want you to pay attention. And in a few minutes, I am going to scream her name because she has a lot of information to share. So let me stop whispering and introduce you my guest, Lacrisha Lomax. Hello.
Hey y'all.
How you doing? Look at that beautiful smile, guys.
I am well.
Yes, I know I've been following you, so I'm not gonna steal any of your thunder because you have a lot to tell us for those people over 50. And that will be me in just 2 weeks. So you are speaking to me. All right. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I am Lacrisha Lomax. I am a nurse. I'm a mother of 4. I'm a grandmother to 3. I'm a daughter. I'm an aunt. I'm a cousin. I'm all those things. And I'm also a nursepreneur. And what a nursepreneur is, it's simple. It just means I'm taking my nursing career and my nursing profession and I'm venturing out into an entrepreneur space with that. So it's kind of going to transition me from having to work in a hospital for someone else to a situation where I will be able to work for myself. I'm trying to get to where I can be independently taking care of myself with my nursing history and my nursing, professionalism and everything that I've gotten in these 27 years of being a nurse. Wow. I can take that and venture out to where I can make money and I can do a career that brings me joy, that kind of put everything all into one box to where I'm not the main goal is to get freedom. I want to be free. Yeah. I want freedom to where I can do what I want when I want, and I will still be serving others. And I think I could reach more people if I were to venture out on my own, because it's all driven by me. The people that I want to reach, I can reach out to them. And in a hospital setting, which is what I've been for the last 27 years, I'm limited to my reach. I reach who they put in front of me. Okay. By me trying to be a nursepreneur or me venturing out to be a nursepreneur, I choose who I want to reach. And right now, my focus is African Americans. I'm concerned about our community because we have a lot of disadvantages. So my whole focus and my whole, passion around this is to help us live healthier lives because we can. And we're disadvantaged anyway. Like we have a lot of disadvantages from the gate. So some of the things that I like to try to do is to try to give you small things to do to improve your living, just to improve your quality of life. And that being said, one of the main things that I like to encourage is exercise. That is something that I'm passionate about. I know the difference. I know what happens when you don't exercise on a regular basis. I know what happens to your body. So for me, physical exercise is the go-to. Like, you got to do it. You got to do it.
I'm watching you. And you are actually promoting it everywhere. She's on Instagram. She's on Facebook. And she's telling everybody to get up and move, which is very important. But before we even go into the exercise bit, this nursepreneur hasn't been around for a while. Is this something new?
It is. I guess the wording is new, but there has been nursepreneurs, but it's like a new wave happening, especially with millennials. The millennials they've grabbed a hold to it and they running with it. Because when I became a nurse, which was 27 years ago, when you hear about a nurse, you just hear about you working in a hospital setting, you working in a nursing home, you working in the traditional nursing way. And that was fine. That has served me very well. I've made great money being a nurse. I'm not going to even act like I didn't. I did. But the whole time I was always working for someone. I was always on someone's schedule. They planned when I did this or that. And with being a nursepreneur, the real big push for it for me is taxes. I'm gonna just tell y'all exactly what it's at.
Yes. Okay. That's the business side of it.
Yes, you got to be serious about it, because if you're not taking into consideration the taxes, you're doing yourself a disservice, because the longer you become a nurse and the longer you're in the field, you make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
but they tax it really heavily.
Okay.
So a huge reason for me venturing out is, for
Okay.
one, I want to help more people and I want to help my people.
Mm-hmm.
And I want tax breaks. And you gotta own a business to have real true tax breaks.
Right. Yeah.
Otherwise, you 50% of your money is gone.
Yeah. So this is, I hope everyone's listening. There's the passion and the human side, but that tax and the business side is where it's at. So, and I know what you're saying because I keep a small business in my back pocket somewhere every year because I need to write off these taxes. I
Yes,
make, my husband and I together make so much. I'm not saying a lot of money, but fall into that bracket where we're having to pay. I don't want to pay
you
anybody.
see it.
Yeah, I don't want to pay anybody. So I feel you on that one. So how long have you been under this Nursepreneur umbrella? Has it been 1 year? When did you start thinking about this?
Well, I initially started thinking about it in as far back as 2012, because I got into a network marketing company at that time for the same reason. I wanted to get to where I could do something where I'm taking control of my life and I'm trying to get some type of freedom. I did that network marketing company from 2012 until I still have it now. I just don't push it. That is a good route for some. It wasn't for me in that I couldn't do the pushing and the selling and the
Okay.
dragging, and it's a lot of work to network marketing. I don't let anybody tell you that it's easy, because it's not. It takes a lot. And at the end of the day, I ventured away from that because I wanted something to be my own. So
Okay.
with being a nursepreneur and you owning something your own, you could have your own thing. Like, I currently have a clothing brand that I created. I created a
We are
clothing
going to talk
brand.
about it. We are going to
Yeah,
talk about it. I'm
yeah.
excited
So I
about
did
this.
that. And I also right now I'm a partner in a trucking company. I invest in a trucking company, and that just jumped off this year. So, it's other avenues. It's a lot of ways to get money other than going to the hospital, which there's nothing wrong with that, because my nursing jobs and my nursing career have funded everything that I'm doing. So I'm not gonna like play that down like it's small, because it's been huge in getting me there. But right now, I'm in the process of creating another business, which is going to be digital products based around my nursing knowledge. So I'm going to create an ebook. I'm going to create these webinars to where I can help people live healthier lives. And it's going to be something that's so much my personal journey and so much what I've gone through, because I feel like that's what we have as an individual to give. We have our experiences. So this is what I'm going to be pushing toward, more things that are geared toward my experiencing. And I'm very passionate about my people, because we need it the most.
Yeah.
We need it the
We need to
most.
get off the couch. We need to start exercising, and that's for every culture. And especially African American, because I can
Yes,
say to people in my family, let's go exercise, come go with me, because I want to. It's okay to exercise by yourself, but it feels better with somebody else. But sometimes I can't let the other persons who don't want to go make me not go. And
exactly.
so keep in our mind, African Americans, we need to get off the sofa, put that
Yeah,
remote control down, and all she asked for is 30 minutes. I
that's
see
it.
you. I see you. 30 minutes.
That's
Listen,
it.
I asked my family right before I had this back surgery. I put it out there to 20 people. Can I get somebody who want to do the 100-day challenge with me? I got crickets. Okay, I got crickets before you even started, because I knew about the 100-day challenge like 2 or 3 years ago. I did it two or 3 years ago, but I joined it again, not thinking, right before my back surgery. So
Oh,
I went in and posted some days, and then went, oh, now I can't do it. So as soon as this back heals, I will be joining you. I'll be behind you, but I'll be joining you, okay? Because
I
I
love
love
it.
that, right? It's motivation. Motivation you can't get from your family all the time. You can get
Yes.
it from other people online who's doing the exact same thing that you are doing and want to get healthy. And hopefully that you can bring your family on board. But you know what? I try everything. I have been this health nut since 5 years old. I know this. I know when mine started, because my mom and dad used to drop me off to my grandma's house over the summers when my mom and dad worked. And I
Yes.
would watch, Lord, nobody even knows who she is. I can't think of her name right now, but Denise somebody. Honey, she's so awkward and offbeat. But I went and looked her up. That lady in her 70s now, and she looked like she's 40.
See?
And I'm just like,
movement.
oh my goodness. So I hear everything that you're saying. I'm excited about all the avenues and that you're doing right now, because it's really motivational to hear that you're doing nursing. So that nurse, you can say nursepreneur. You're just an entrepreneur. Because you're doing everything. Okay, let's get back. I can't steal your thunder, honey, because you got a lot to talk about. So you talked about what we're here for is wellness over 50. Okay, for the people over 50, which would be me in 2 weeks. What are some of the main health issues that you see for us being in the nursing field for those that are over 50?
I would say one of the main things is obesity. We gain weight. We gain weight that we're not intentionally doing. It's just that when you get older, you do less movement just out of just natural life. Your job get easier. Me nursing at 27 years in is totally different from me nursing at year one. Year one, I was running around. I was trying to learn everything. I was throwing myself into it. I barely took a break. I remember when I first became a nurse girl, I barely took breaks to go to the bathroom. Like I literally would be there 12 hours and don't pee. Like, yeah. So that's totally crazy. That's crazy. But that's because you're so excited and you trying to learn everything and you want to be perfect. But as the years go, it becomes like second nature. Nursing is second nature to me. Like I can literally do it in my sleep. And so my jobs have gotten easier. So as your jobs get easier and they get more sedimentary, you put on pounds because you're not moving and you're not raising kids anymore. You yourself know when you were raising your kids, you was everywhere. You running
all day long.
You got to take them here, take them. You was doing a lot, but when they get grown and out, girl, you be worried about just yourself and it get real easy.
Well, I'm gonna whisper this into your ear. I have a grandbaby that lives with me, and it feels like I'm raising my kids all over again. I'm just like, what is this? I'm 50. I shouldn't have a baby, but I love that little girl to death. So
yes,
it keeps me young.
And that's why if you think back, that's a point that you just made, is when you think back to when the grandparents were raising the kids, like back in the day, your grandparents had a house full of kids. They stayed young because they were still running after kids. Yes. But if you get to where you're not running behind them and you get more sedimentary and your job get easier, you're moving less. So the decrease in the movement is what's the detriment to us. We're eating whatever, we're not really paying attention, and we're just slowly, the pounds are coming on. So that's number one. Yep. So we got to do better, and movement can help that. Diet can help that. Drinking more water. I particular do not have I don't have soda in my refrigerator. I don't have juice in my refrigerator. I do have tea in there right now, but I typically don't have that. I mainly be having water because you need water. Like water is really important. So obesity is definitely something that we have to consider when we get older. Another thing for us when you're 50 and up is these 3 screenings that you definitely should do. You should do breast cancer screening. You should do cervical cancer screening, and you should also do colorectal. Colorectal is very vital now. And I would say even before you're 50 to do it if you're African American. I would say in your 40s, do a colorectal screening. If you have someone that has a history in your family, go earlier because it could be something that's hereditary that's going to be passed down to you. So definitely do those 3 screenings. And you also should do, if you're a smoker or you used to smoke, you should do a lung cancer screening if you're over 50. Those are the main ones over 50. If you're African-American male, prostate cancer screening should start at 45. 45 and up, check that prostate out. Yeah. According to the American Cancer Society, 45 for prostate. For cervical cancer, 40 to 49. 40 to 49 cervical cancer screening. And also one basic thing that we should all be doing is having yearly physicals. Yes. You should have a yearly physical. Yes. A yearly physical could catch something that you don't know is going on, that you don't feel. A yearly physical can give you that information early. And with anything, early detection is the best thing. You want to find out early. You don't want it to be way far along, stage 3, stage 4. You want to catch things early. Yes, a yearly physical, they're going to do your blood pressure, they're going to do your heart rate, they're going to do your temperature, they're going to do some basic labs. All of those are something that you should know for yourself. You should know your basic numbers. You should know what your blood pressure runs. If your blood pressure runs a little high, you got to pay attention because untreated hypertension leads to other problems, mainly kidney failure. You don't want kidney failure. You gotta, that's something that I see and it bothers me a lot. At hospital, 20s and 30s with full on kidney failure because they had high blood pressure that they did not know they had. It is silent. And it got so bad to where it took out their kidneys. So definitely a yearly physical. Check in with your doctor. I know, we say, oh, I hate doctors. And, that's I understand that. I get it. But do a yearly physical. Do that for yourself.
Yeah. I live with someone who does not like to have physicals, but I say to him, honey, have you scheduled your physical for this year? Okay. And he rolls his eyes, but honey, have you scheduled your physical for this year? And matter of fact, he just went a couple of days ago. So kudos to him because he hates going to the doctor. Kudos to him. But you know what? You're saying a lot of stuff. And one thing I didn't hear, which I thought was really prominent, was diabetes.
Diabetes, girl. I don't know how I left that out. Diabetes was next after obesity. So how you end up with diabetes a lot of time is diet and exercise. One thing that I will, and I'm going to tell you from a personal story. So 2 years ago, when I started that 100-day challenge 2 years ago, this is what prompted it. I went and got my yearly physical. My doctor told me that my A1C was 5.8. That is a precursor to diabetes. An A1C, which is something you should check. I even had to tell my sister to insist that her doctor do an A1C on her because he was not trying to do it. When I told her, I said, yeah, make him do an A1C. And she asked him and he was like, why? And I was like, girl, make him do the A1C. That's an important number. Just because you go in the office and they do a glucose on you, that tells whether you have diabetes too, is your glucose level. That's what the A1C is. But the A1C tells them a average of the last 90 days what your blood sugar been running. So that's why you want to have an A1C because it gives them an average of what you've been sitting at the whole time instead of that one instance. You may go in there and hadn't eaten in 2 days and your blood sugar is really low, but that's not indicative of what you've been doing for the last 90 days. So A1C is important. Yeah, definitely get the A1C because that's how they tell when you have pre-diabetes. If your A1C is 5.7 to 6.1, that's pre-diabetic. When it goes past 6.1, it's your diabetes. It's definitely a diagnosis of diabetes. So mine was 5.8. And I was like, oh, no, the devil is a lie. I am not about to have diabetes. So I said to the doctor, because initially what they do is they put you on metformin. Metformin is the drug of choice. They quickly throw you on metformin.
Yes.
So me knowing that it's reversible, type 2 diabetes, which is what I'm speaking of, is reversible. So diet and exercise can bring that number down to where you're no longer pre-diabetic. So 2 years ago, almost 3 now, it was 2019. I told my doctor then, I said, I don't want to go on another pill. I'm going to do diet and exercise. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try to fix it myself. So that's what I did. I started the 100-day challenge and the 100-day challenge threw me into running. So it took me a long time because I started in 2019. I was not a runner. I was a walker. I hated running. You couldn't tell me I was ever going to be a runner. It wasn't my thing. But I joined this group called Black Girls Run, and it is amazing. If you don't have one, find one in your community or create one in your community. You can create a chapter where you are. Yes, it's amazing. I joined that at the same time. It's just God was looking out for me because when I had that diagnosis, I had just fell into Black Girls Run. I was walking. They trained me to go from walking until I did a 5K without stopping. I went from walking on my couch to running a full 5K without stopping, which is 3.1 miles or 3.2 miles. I've never done that in my life. When I was a basketball player in high school, I never ran that much. So that challenge and that thing threw me into that. And it took me a full year before my A1C went from 5.8 to 5.4, and I was no longer pre-diabetic. So the point is consistency. It don't happen overnight. That's why I create these 100-day challenges so that you can be consistent with doing a little something so that it will create a habit. It's all about a habit. It's all about lifestyle habits. And I myself reverse diabetes because diabetes is rampant in our community. It's something that we just think, oh, we're going to get older, we're going to have diabetes. You don't have to.
Nope. My husband's entire family, his side of the family, there are a lot of diabetics. And then when I asked my dad about his side, diabetes is on both my mom and dad's side. And then I was worried about my daughters getting it because of his family. It's very prominent in his family. So you have to, that's one reason I asked for that question, because I normally hear diabetes, and I go to school and I'm seeing kids now under 14 with diabetes.
Overweight. So it's the weight.
Okay.
Yeah. So in our community, you're 60%, African American is 60% likely to be diagnosed with diabetes than non-African American.
And it's funny that you say that, because and the screenings that you said caught my eye, because at 19 I was diagnosed with cervical dysplasia. So if you were to tell me that I was going to have breast cancer, I would say no. I thought for sure, because I was 19, and then at 22 it came back. So they end up doing, the first time they cut a fourth of my cervix. Then the second time they cut a third of my cervix, which caused premature labor. So it caused cervical incompetency. So when I went to have my first child, I delivered at 23 weeks, and he was only 1 pound, 3 ounces, and he died. So he lived for 20 days. But I say that because when you threw cervical screening on there, that's not anything that I thought there was a screening for. You know what I'm saying? It just so happened my doctor at that time, I was telling him I was spotting a lot, and he went and looked at my cervix, and here are the cells, cancer cells. So, but now I've had breast cancer, but people in my family died of heart disease and diabetes. So cancer, that's a misnomer for me. I don't know where that came from, because I always thought that I would get cervical cancer. So to know that that's one that you listed up there, I hope people are listening. Listen to your bodies, watch your body. Everybody hates doctors, and I should be the one that says I hate doctors, because this chemo has just thrown my body into arthritis like no other person can have arthritis.
Wow.
But what you're saying, I hope people are listening, especially African Americans.
Yes.
Diabetes run rampant in our families. We have to get off that sofa. I love you for saying that. Go ahead. Yes. I don't want to take the thunder, sis, because you're on a roll. Keep going.
Also, you mentioned the cervical screening. I just looked up in the American Cancer Society. They said the cervical screening should start 25 to 39.
Whoa.
So I talked about the over 50, but it should really start 25 to 39. Your age should be, that's why, you remember when you started getting PAPs. We started getting PAPs. That's why. You got to get your yearly PAPs too. That's something that you start as a young woman. You should be getting yearly PAPs. And when they see anything abnormal, they should follow up more frequently, just to make sure that those cells don't turn abnormal. So that's really important too, for a female to be getting regular PAPs. These are something that's normal, like a yearly physical. You do the PAPs, and that's why, because 25 to 39 is cervical cancer, which is sad. That's
I have 2 daughters and a granddaughter. I'm gonna stay on them. All right. So you're saying you've already talked about exercise, diet. What does a diet for us over 50 look like? What should be the main in our course?
I think the main thing should be you trying to pay attention to how your body feels when you eat certain things.
Okay.
Incorporating a lot of water. Like, I can't say enough about water. Drink a lot of water. Our body needs that. It needs the nutrients that we get from water. You need that. A lot of the other stuff, it's got a lot of other things in it that your body don't need. More green vegetables.
Okay.
Try to stay away from pork. No pork. Like, we shouldn't even be eating pork. I do sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna just
once in a while. We've been on chicken, fish, for about 12 years now.
That's great.
I don't eat a whole lot of pork or beef.
Beef is bad. That beef and pork is just terrible for us.
Yeah.
Like, don't eat it. I won't say that you should never do it, but for me, and I'm gonna tell you from personal experiences, I do everything in moderation. There's nothing that I do a whole lot of. Like, me, my personal issue with diet is sweets. I like sweets. That's bad for us. With diabetes, that's definitely bad. That's an excessive amount of sugar. So you have to pay attention to those things, because you're killing yourself. Like,
Okay.
don't do it. Like,
Okay.
just limit it. Like, don't say you can't ever have it, but don't let that be like a regular thing.
Girl,
Do your
but
vegetables, do your fruits. Make sure you got fruits and vegetables.
listen,
Definitely greens. Get a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
tell on
greens.
myself. I'm gonna tell on myself. I've had this back surgery. It's been 3 weeks. My husband been bringing me my favorite just to help me out. And it's the worst thing on the planet. I know all the adults that are watching are going to say, ew, you like those things? Yes, I love them to death. The little zebra, little Debbie snack cake. Okay.
Oh my God, sweet.
Honey, yes, I love it. And that's, it took my mind off the pain. So I told him, no more little Debbie snack cakes. Okay. I got to get off this sofa. Okay. The back is here. So no more little Debbie snack cakes. And honey, when I got on that scale, it says, are you and your granddaughter and your husband on that scale? Somebody need to get off. I was like, oh my God, the weight I have gained in these three weeks is ridiculous.
Me too. Girl, I did that on vacation.
Oh, I saw you
for 5 weeks, and girl, I gained weight, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
Lord.
One thing about it that you have to do too, just like I make mistakes, I fall off. You gotta reel yourself back in.
Okay.
When you see you don't fall off, reel yourself back in. That's what I do. I reel myself back in. Like, look, girl, this is a mess. I went over 200 pounds.
You're tall. You're tall for a lady. You're tall. You're tall. I am 5'1", and that scale. It says 1.5 plus, and I went, oh my God, what is going on here? So I got to pull myself back in. So don't worry about it. You're giving me my inspiration, my motivation. You are doing it. I've been watching you.
And another thing that I did all the time, and I learned this a long time ago, is I watch portions. I never eat a full plate of food. I look at portions. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to eat till you're full. That just not what it's about. You should be eating every 3 hours, having a smaller portions. That will help you shed weight. If you're really trying to look at your weight and you're really trying to trim down, eat every 3 hours. You should be like really on a schedule where you're putting in some type of nutrition every 3 hours. That increases your metabolism. And overeating is what causes us to be obese too. We eat these big plates, and it's just don't make no sense. You don't do that.
All right. Well, now, you have talked about a lot of your entrepreneurial stuff. I'm ready. Tell me, how did we get to the 9th run? Ladies and gentlemen, she has an exercise. And I thought it was your daughter's at first, but then when I saw you taking the pictures and photos, I said, oh my God, this must be hers.
It's mine.
And I talk about your clothing line. I bet you have it on right now, don't you?
I do. I have a 9th run right now. Yes, I do. So you wanted to know how it came about.
Come up with this?
Okay, so how it came about is when I fell in love with running. I told you I started running a few years ago, and running it really shed me really good. Like, when I really got into it, I started out going twice a week with Black Girls Run. We would typically do 3 to 5 miles, and I started out walking. And then when I advanced to running and I got to where I was running all the time, the pounds shed off of me. And that's how I ended up really getting to where I wanted to be as far as my fitness. And when I got to where I loved running, I was always thinking in my head, what can I do for a business? And I always throw it off on my 2 daughters. My 2 daughters are like my go-to. They are bosses in themselves. Like,
yes, ma'am.
So they were sick of hearing me like, Mom, just do something. Like, you talking about it, but you ain't doing it. And so I said, I should create a athletic brand, because that's what I love. I'm passionate about working out. That's all I want to do is just be working out somewhere, doing something. So it was like, let's do it. So me and my daughters talked about it. I said 9th because that's my life path number 9.
Okay.
So that's where the 9 came from. And then run. So 9th run. And it's an athletic brand that I created. It launched last year. It's only like a year in, but I'm excited about it. Even though this first run, I haven't really promoted it a lot. I really don't do what I should be doing, but I plan on, promoting it more, and it will grow into something else. It's just the beginning. I'm happy about it though.
I've watched you. And so how can people where can they go to get 9th Run?
9thrun.com.
All right, y'all heard it. I want you to support this entrepreneur. I want you to support this female. I want you to support this minority business owner. I want you guys to support and to show you how much I want I don't know what this body gonna look like, but I'm gonna order mine when we get
Awesome.
offline. Okay. So I
That's
want everybody to support my sister. And I know about Rita. So Rita,
yes.
we're gonna support you in your endeavors because I am excited to see a female just go for it. You are doing so much right now that I hope my daughters are watching so that they can get some inspiration as well. And you said something when you were talking about nursing that I know is going to strike a chord with my youngest one because she's fighting whether she should be in nursing school right now or she should just be an LPN versus an RN and all of this.
RN, baby. Go for
it's
it.
all in her head right now. But what you said is, I think she's thinking about being bored with just doing one.
Not. Let me explain on that. No, listen, nursing is not a boring career at all.
Mm-hmm.
If she's young, she got youth on her side. She should go for her RN for sure. It opens up so many more doors. Don't even stop there. She's young. Get your bachelor's in nursing. Get your master's in nursing. Get your PhD in nursing. You could be a doctor of nursing. There's so many doors to be open for nursing. It is an amazing career. I have nothing bad to say about nursing. It's amazing. It has afforded my kids and myself a wonderful life. It took me from Fort Pierce, Florida to Los Angeles, California, and I've been here for 16 years. I make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money with nursing. There are so many opportunities. You could be working at a hospital. You could be working in a clinic. There are nursing now. These millennials have got it going on. These millennials are creating spas. Like they're taking their nursing career and creating these med spas, and they are just taking off.
Okay.
They're really taking off. You can be doing brows. You can be doing all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Stemmed off of your nursing career because nursing is going to pay you well. No matter what, you're going to get paid well to be a nurse. And what you can do is what I've always done. Use your nursing, even if that's not what your end all be all, use that to help fund the life that you truly want. It can get you there.
Awesome. Thank you for that advice. I really, truly, I was spoken from a nurse of 27 years, giving advice to all the young ones that are out there listening. Everybody can't be an internet star, an Instagram star. Everybody can't be that. We need people who use their hands and their minds and brain. We can't, everybody can't just go on. I know I can't. I'm not even trying to be an Instagram star. I don't even know where you began. But what I want people to know, these jobs that used to be in high regards, people are shying away from them. I think because of the internet, we still need nurses. We need the jobs that survived COVID was nursing. Was doctors. They have survived probably every major pandemic or epidemic that we've ever been in. The medical field is going to be there.
We're going to be there. We're not going anywhere. You cannot replace me. You can't replace my hands on a patient. You can't replace my compassion for a patient. It's a human touch that you can't replace. Nursing is not going anywhere. This is a very rewarding career. When you have a patient just be happy just because you walked in a room and smiled and you made their day better, it's so rewarding. I wear a flower every day to work because my patients just gravitate to my flower. I wear a flower in my hair every day. Anybody know me that where I work, I always wear a flower and I always get them saying, you made my day. That brightened up my day. It's a little thing. It's nothing. It's nothing literally. But that's what we do. We are there to help brighten up somebody's day, help their journey be lighter because being on that side of healthcare is not fun. No one wants to be sick. No one wants to have any issues. So a nurse can lighten up their load, really show compassion and really connect with them. Cause I try to connect with my patients. I try to sit with them and talk to them and ask them where they from. I like to have a dialogue to where they can feel like at ease, like they're in good hands. And nursing is not going anywhere. No, it's the best career choice I could have made. Like
this is one of the, I guess,
I could have done better than being a nurse.
This is one of the most fulfilling interviews I've had.
Wow.
I mean, the stuff you're saying hits home in so many, places for me. Number one, because I am the patient. You're talking to the patient. I've had so many surgeries, and I can tell you that nurse, because you rarely see the doctor, and I know the doctor's behind the scene, but that nurse can make or break your experience.
Yes.
And I've truly said I've only had one nurse in my entire life dealing with the medical field that really I just I should have told on her. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I should have
You
said
should have.
something, and I
You should
didn't.
have.
And so I regret that, and I'm sure she's passed away by now because she was old then, and she was one of the nurses, and I'm not going to dwell on it, but that was taking care of my baby when he was 1 pound 3 ounces.
Oh my
And she
God.
said to me, she looked at me and she said, I don't know why y'all put these babies, and she's in the NICU, put these babies through this. If I had a daughter who had premature birth, I would tell her to not do this. I would tell her to not do this. And she was the only nurse that came into that room and stuck her hands in the incubator with no gloves on.
Oh my God.
And I held it in. And I should have said something to my mother-in-law who was there with me at the time. She came a little later that day, and she was an RN. My mother-in-law was an RN, and I should have said something, but she would have lit that hospital up.
She should have. And she should have. Before we close, let me add this tip from my 27 years of nursing.
Yeah, that's
always have someone with you in the hospital.
Yeah.
Always have someone there fighting for you. I know it's hard now because COVID, it has caused you to not have visitors, but we got visitors now. Visitors are back. Yes. Always have someone with you. You need someone there because you're the person sick. So you can't always advocate for yourself. So you need someone there always present to advocate for you because all of us aren't good. I ain't gonna sit on here and say every nurse is perfect, every nurse is good. We're not perfect. We're human. Some people are not in it for the right reasons. Some people may not treat you right. So you need somebody that's gonna speak up.
I was already not in my right state of mind because I'm dealing with a baby who's who's fighting for his life. And then she came in and she made the comment that she made, and then she stuck her hands in there with no gloves. And I was just like,
and you never forgot that.
Right. I said, am I witnessing this right now? It made me feel uneasy. And then for her to say that, it was just, a real bad experience. But that's the only bad experience I've ever had with any nurse in the entire times I've been going to hospitals or doctors or whatever. So that was a pretty good odds.
I'm sorry that you experienced that. You shouldn't have never experienced that. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Now, we're about to wrap up, but you're going to speak to me again because here, sleep. Since I was 5 years old in kindergarten, my mom said to us, and this is how she raised us, she says, I'm not going to tell you what time to go to bed. She said, but the moment that I have to wake you up to go to school is going to be a problem. Okay. And then I'll set you a curfew. That was bad for me. My brothers went to bed like normal people. I'm 5 and I can remember staying up to midnight.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, ma'am. But I would get up the next day and go to school bright and early. As soon as I hear my mama's feet hit the floor, I hit the floor. I was right behind her. And what it has done, it has taught me to only live off of 4 to 5 hours of sleep.
Oh my God.
I've had a study done, and the doctor was like, I got there at 11:15. By 11:45, I was hooked up and gone to sleep. I woke up, my eyes popped open at 3:45. Literally 4 hours of sleep is all I get every night. And I'm going to the doctors now like, hey guys, I need something to help me go to sleep. And my doctor here, she's wonderful, Dr. Jennifer White. And she's trying all this stuff, but she stopped because she knew I was having surgery.
Right.
And the only thing I have found now that has really made me go to sleep is these muscle relaxers.
Okay.
And my husband's like, since you've been taking those muscle relaxers, along with your gabapentin, you've been sleeping. I was like, well, I can't live off of muscle relaxers. So I and literally she's fussing at me. She says, you have to get more than 4 hours of sleep. Nobody can live like that. I was like, well, honey, I've been doing this since I was 5. So somebody's going to have to turn my body off. So how important is sleep to us over 50?
It's very important. I mean, when you have a lack of sleep, I typically get like 7 hours. Like I know,
that makes me feel like somebody ran me over with a truck. Seriously, if I get that much sleep,
I get 7 hours, and I love it. I love sleep. I literally love sleep. You need it. Your body has to recharge. Things have to shut down and calm down, and your body have to recharge. When you don't get enough sleep, you have issues like depression. Your sleep during the day, you don't have that energy.
I'm not. That's the weird thing. And she keeps telling me, sweetie, I know you think that you're still running. She said, but you are going to give out. She says, you cannot keep this up living off of 4 hours of sleep. You can't do that.
And sometimes you have to take something, girl. If I get to where I am having issues with sleep, I'm taking me a CBD. I
Really?
am. I'm gonna do that. Yes, I do little gummies and they help me sleep. I'll do a
Okay.
quarter one or half a one and I sleep good. Like I like sound sleep. I know what it feels like to have sound sleep. So if it gets to where I'm up too much, I will do me a little gummy. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm not really sure about gummies. Will that interfere with my job?
Yes, right. But it's legal now. A lot of places it is legal. It's legal. So if it's legal for you and it's fine for your job, yeah, I'm not going to discourage you from doing it. I know what it does for me. When I have issues where I don't go to sleep, I will
Okay.
have me a little quarter of a gummy and I'll sleep good.
Okay.
Sleep
Well,
very good.
I have to tell my doctor about that one.
Ask your doctor. Definitely ask your doctor. Because you got to think about it. I've been a nurse for a long time. Marinol is not new. Marinol as therapy is not new. It's been around ever since I've been a nurse. It's just that was the form that they gave it is Marinol. And what they used to give it to people for is for appetite. They would give it to for when you have like cancer or you going through a disease process where you don't eat, they give you Marinol. And Marinol
and that's what they asked me.
Yeah.
When I had breast cancer, he said, do you want some? I said, what? He said, he asked me, did I need the marijuana to help me sleep and for the pain? And I refused it. He said, sweetie, if it's coming from me, it's medicinal. I said, I don't care what it is. And I refused to take it. My husband looked at me like, really? I was like, no, I don't want it. But I should have tried it.
Yes, you should have.
Now, all in all, what advice do you have for us over 50? And I'm also, when I'm done, guys, I'm going to post in the description where you can get her 9th run because it's really, really attractive. And you can also go to follow her on Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
It's now Lacrisha Lomax Nursepreneur.
Okay. And I will also put that in the description box so you can follow her and ask her about her clothing line. Probably ask her about how to become this great entrepreneur. Because I mean, she has her hands in all the pots right now.
Yes,
you even heard about the trucking. So you're staying away for all times of night working on stuff, huh?
Yes. So what I would say in closing for over 50, just the main thing is to pay attention to your body, but pay attention to things that you feel. If you feel like something is abnormal, dive a little deep to see what's causing it. Like right now, my knee is bothering me a little bit and I'm paying attention. Like I still have been doing my little things. I actually ran on Thursday and I hadn't ran in like 2 months and I was fine. I'm just paying attention to my body. Also over 50, definitely increase more water intake. Definitely get a lot of water in your diet. Exercise. I can't say that enough. Exercise. Give yourself 30 minutes a day. Now, I won't even say every single day, but at least 4 times a week, exercise. Give yourself 30 minutes a day, at least 3 to 4 times a week, because mobility is what our body craves. It craves mobility. We need to move. One of the things that I love to do is dance. And I found out today in class, my dance instructor explained when you doing dancing and you doing choreography, which I'm goofy and awkward, like y'all, if y'all follow me, y'all see on my videos when I post me dancing, I'd be looking crazy. Because she says that when you're doing the choreography and you're trying to dance, you also work in your brain. So it can help you not only with physical, but help you with your brain to make you do things that you trying to coordinate and put together. That helps your brain. So dancing, I'm going to suggest. Diet and exercise, definitely add more greens and fruits to your diet. Lay off the pork and beef. That's about it.
Well, I can tell you this has been very enjoyable. I am going to link in the description box for everybody so that they can find you, follow you, and support you. And all I can say is you are doing your thing, and I'm so supportive of you, Miss Lomax. Okay?
Thank you so much. I'm so proud, and I'm so proud. I'm proud of what you're doing. I'm honored that you asked me, little old me. I'm really honored. It means a lot to me too. You know I love you too. You family. You know,
all right.
So you family.
Well, you got to get family, call Jerika and make her come on. She keeps ignoring me, okay? Because I want to talk. Yeah, she will not. She won't even respond to me. So you, Jerika Ewing, I need to see you.
I'm gonna nudge her. I'm gonna nudge her because this is a great platform. I'm happy about this.
Awesome. Thank you. So thank everyone for joining us on another edition of Wednesday Night Whispers. With tonight's guest was Miss Lacrisha Lomax, and we are so proud of this nursepreneur. All right. Thank you guys. Bye. See you again.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.